Hello, I'm Philip Stoughton. I'm at Apex 2019 and I'm on the Scoop Studio and I'm joined by Joe Benz from Intervala. Joe, thanks for joining me. First of all, so just in case people haven't heard of Intervala, tell me a bit about the business.
Intervala is a premier EMS provider in the Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania area. We've been around for a very long time. We can date our roots back into the late 1800s, actually, and trace them all the way to present day. But currently, as I mentioned, we're a premier EMS provider. We build printed circuit board assemblies, chassis assemblies, all the way up to full system builds.
Okay. And what kind of scale? Just give me an idea of size, number of staff, that kind of thing.
We're currently at about 220 people right now.
Okay. And what kind of markets are you serving? Is there a particular niche or is it whatever comes through the door?
We tend to service customers who have high reliability products, high cost of failure type products. So something's out in the field and it's life support or something of that nature. Those are the customers that tend to come to us. We serve the industrial markets, medical, some automotive, some military.
Okay. Lots of approvals. Is that kind of the area you're in? Are there lots of approvals in your...
Absolutely. Yeah, our customers demand that.
Okay. So you've recently made some acquisitions of capital equipment. Tell me a bit about those and tell me a bit about the selection process.
Well, we've upgraded recently to Ko-Young inspection equipment for our solder paste inspection as well as our automated optical inspection. We go through a pretty rigorous evaluation whenever we're spending that kind of money, and Ko-Young came out on top. It really is the premier equipment in the industry, and when you're in the EMS business, really what you're looking for is frankly two things. You're looking for a competitive edge, and you're of course looking for performance, right? Yeah. So with the Ko-Young gear, we knew that when our customers come in, and these are very educated people, they know the industry and they know the equipment. We know that when our customers come in, they're going to see that Ko-Young gear, and there's going to be this just, sigh of relief. Yeah. It's going to be, oh, wow, you guys have Ko-Young. Yeah. We don't really have to deal with questions about your SPI or your AOI, right?
Yeah, that makes a huge difference, doesn't it? And I never thought of it as having that important sales point in terms of making your customers relax. So you went through a rigorous process, evaluated a whole bunch of machines, you chose Ko-Young. I guess the next stage is the installation, the support, the training. Tell me a bit about that process.
It's been absolutely fantastic. They've worked with us every step of the way to make sure that the installation and the training has been very successful. They send a technician in, spends the entire week with our personnel. We get a lot of instruction up front. Let me just back up a bit. We get a lot of instruction up front as far as facilities and what we need to do to have the equipment in place before they show. But when they do show, it's all about the training, the installation, making sure we have a very clear understanding of how the equipment operates. And by the time they leave, we're reasonably proficient that we can be on our own for a while. And then they stop back in about a month to make sure everything's okay.
Okay, that's really good. And when I look at the data that you're getting out of these machines, obviously there's the go, no go, and you're measuring quality, but it's more than that. You're able to look at how you can improve performance elsewhere on the line, how you can make adjustments in print or other processes. How important is that to your strategy when you're selecting equipment?
It's vitally important. Again, we've got kind of this two-pronged approach to making sure that we're satisfying our customers. The first, of course, is that competitive edge that I talked about, but the second is the performance, right? They want to know that we're identifying issues ahead of time. We are fine-tuning the processes so that the downstream processes have higher yields. They need all that because they know that helps us control cost and improve cycle time to them. So the Ko-Young information is just, you can't compare it to what we had before. The other gear was what most everybody else is running. 2D, downward-looking camera, and it was okay at the time, right? It can detect part presence, part absence, part polarity, things like that reasonably well. But then you take the light year step to Ko-Young, and all of a sudden you're measuring everything. It's a whole different ball game. When, for example, you're thinking about part polarity, and you have an integrated circuit that has a dimple molded into the case. With the 2D look, you really couldn't distinguish that dimple on there. So you had to use other means to detect polarity, like pad printing or something. With the Ko-Young, we're literally measuring the height of that dimple. So we know how high the surface of the chip is, and we know how high that dimple is, and we can detect the difference in those heights and resolve where that dimple is, and therefore know that the polarity is correct on the part. So it's just a light years different when you're measuring versus when you're just doing image comparison.
Yeah, and that means a lot to you as a business, doesn't it? It means that you can win and confidently do business you couldn't have done before, perhaps. It means you've got the traceability of every board down the line when your customer wants it, and it pushes you along that journey towards the smart factory. Is that something that's part of the initiative within Intervala at the moment?
Absolutely part of the mission. We've also recently implemented an MES system, so we're tying the Ko-Young gear in with our MES system, which is all part of that K-Smart factory system.
Yeah, so you're moving in that direction. Joe, thanks for stopping by. Sounds like a really good product installation for you. Good luck with Intervala, and hope we can speak again soon.
Thank you very much.